The TMJ-TMD conundrum is real and has been puzzling the dental and medical professions for decades. This is the TMJ-TMD Demystified podcast with Dr. Tony Urbanic, where we'll connect the dots between TMD symptoms and the actual cause. We'll tackle common TMD misconceptions and educate you, the practitioner, about a simple, tested, and proven TMD solution that has already provided relief to thousands of patients, while helping practitioners build an additional source of income free from insurance control. Welcome to this episode of the TMJ-TMD Demystified podcast.
Hello, TMD warriors. Good day to you, or good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're listening to this episode of TMD Demystified. I am Tony Urbanic. Today, we are going to discuss a topic that I think is near and dear to your heart, whether or not you treat TMD or not. I think that what I have to say will be meaningful. I think you're experienced to some extent on what I have to say. But let me just preface it by a little explanation, a little backstory. So I do an episode of TMD Demystified once a week. We record this episode, and simultaneously on a Sunday evening, I write a blog, usually a 2-page blog, which is published on Monday each week. And I have recently been trying to keep the titles and the concepts and the topics of both the written blog, which is published and distributed to a large number of patients and doctors. The blog is directed primarily toward patients. And the podcast, of which you are listening to and watching right now, is directed to doctors, dentists. But I try to keep the concept and the topic along the same lines and using the same information, but to two different groups of people, two different publics. One public being the public itself, and the separate public being the subset of dentists. So this week's blog was entitled, "The Public Needs to Know That Dental Insurance is a Scam." So keep in mind, the blog is directed to the public, and I'm not going to read the entire publication, which came out this week, meaning the week of April the 29th, 2024. But again, this week's blog, this paper copy of it that goes out on multiple lines, emails, presented to my patient list, and this week's blog entitled, "The Public Needs to Know That Dental Insurance is a Scam." Now, if you are a dentist, I think you are aware of this issue. Now, that's not what I'm trying to educate you about. I think we already agree that dental insurance is not insurance, and that is the main description of what I wrote about, and that is dental insurance is not dental insurance. They literally changed the meaning of insurance when they called it dental insurance, and it's a dental plan generally which either the insured, quote, insured person or the insured employer pays a monthly premium, of which a portion of the premium is allocated to dental treatment, and a portion is attributed or allocated to the company itself, so the company can stay in business. That is, the dental insurance company can stay in business and make a profit. And that is done at the expense of the dentist and the patients, because the types and degree and amount of compensation that is paid to the dentist on behalf of the patients is significantly limited, and year by year it continues to be decreased. And we all know that. We've all dealt with it. Years ago when this started, when I say years ago, I think that dental insurance really got a foothold back in the early 2000s, end of the 1990s, early 2000s, under the premise that we are going to send you a lot of patients. And for that, if you sign up with our network, we will send you a lot of patients. They didn't tell you that they were going to limit the amount of work that you could do, that you would have to struggle and battle to get your payments, and that they would micromanage everything you did. We're all experienced with that. Unfortunately, personally, because I don't do oral and maxillofacial surgery anymore, I don't have to deal with dental insurance companies. Of course, I did, and taking out the usual office stuff, dental implants, extractions, impactions, wisdom teeth. Had to deal with dental insurance all the time, and I'm very well versed on what I'm telling you about this. And I don't think I'll get any disagreement from any dentist in the dental industry. But the podcast itself, what I have to say about this issue and how it relates to TMD is as follows. The topic of my episode today on the podcast, directed to my colleague dentist, is entitled "Dental Insurance is a Scam, and Treating TMD is an Opportunity to Take Your Practice Fee for Service." In other words, what I'm going to talk about today is an opportunity based on what I know about treating TMD successfully, easily, productively, financially rewarding for the practice, is an opportunity to actually take your entire practice fee for service and get out from underneath the hammer of dental insurance companies. And if you feel it's to your benefit to play that game where you have to battle for every dollar that is sent to you on behalf of patients or patients' employers, my heart goes out to you, because we know as a group this is not working out. It has not worked out, and because of that, there are dentists who can't pay their bills. In fact, I had a conversation independent of this episode not 30 minutes ago of a well-established, retired dentist from the Midwest who we're talking about other issues, but shared with me that a very good friend of his in the same age bracket had to declare bankruptcy because of just what we're talking about, dental insurance. And the promises with dental insurance made at the beginning, and as the years grew and went on, this particular dentist, along with many other dentists, found that they got placed in a position where they couldn't pay their bills, and this particular unfortunate doctor ended up in bankruptcy. So that is the worst. I don't know if it's the worst scenario that can occur, but certainly bad, because of the influence and the unkept promises and the smoke and mirrors associated with dental insurance. Now, here's how it works out. I have touched on these issues regarding TMD within this podcast and these episodes for going on 2 years now. But because of the fact that we have figured out what is the real cause of TMD, which is inflammation within the temporomandibular joint, not myofascial pain dysfunction syndrome, not anything else. It is inflammation in the joint drives all the symptoms. So we have a solution. It's a great solution called the Urbanic Device and Protocol, but a device, a tool that is, if used correctly according to the protocol, you will get relief of the inflammation. And because the inflammation directly drives the symptoms, that all the symptoms diminish and the symptoms go away, and TMD goes away, which is nothing more than the symptoms themselves. So if you can do that successfully, and we do on a grand basis in our practice and in growing number of practices throughout the United States and beyond, you can, and the non-surgical treatment of TMD using this tool and protocol is a cash-only fee-for-service service. You can add significant income to your practice on a relatively short basis, which can supplement your current income to the point where you can feel comfortable giving up these insurance plans and develop, like many other doctors are doing now and is being promoted, to get out from underneath the hammer and the control of insurance companies completely and go fee for service. And certainly there are patients who are becoming aware of this, and that is why I wrote this blog directed to public, to patients in general, to tell them exactly what is going on, what has happened to the insurance industry and to your fellow dentists by way of dental insurance companies. So the value of fee-for-service TMD can add several $100,000 easily to your practice. We have doctors now in parts of the United States who add $200,000, $300,000 additional to their income by doing, well, I can tell you kind of numbers, doing two to three patients a week, actually 2 patients a week, will add $200,000 to $300,000 in additional income to their practice. And I've talked about the marketing program that we have developed, a proprietary marketing program that, using the information that is gathered from the front desk, letters are sent out to the prior or previous doctors, especially physicians, nurse practitioners, physicians assistants, ENTs, primary care physicians, chiropractors, physical therapists who priorly tried to treat TMD unsuccessfully. And when letters go out indicating that this solution has been accomplished, and the particular symptoms associated with a particular patient that doctor had priorly seen and tried to handle was now successfully handled using the device and protocol, a very flood of referrals come into that practice. In other words, it doesn't take long at all for you to get a large number of referrals from the medical community who honestly want to have their patients handled. They want their patients successfully treated. The fact that they didn't know how to do it, or they didn't know what to do, or they chose the wrong kind of treatment for what they thought was something else other than TMD. But you will get a large number of patients from the medical community. Now, I teach with tools. I like to teach with props. And again, I've talked this before, but we just finished a seminar here in Cool Springs in Franklin, Tennessee, just a week ago, where we brought in doctors, both local dentists and dentists throughout the United States, actually, and talked about the proper, correct way to treat TMD, which is unloading the temporomandibular joint adequately. And I use this as a prop. This is a series of pages. I don't know, it looks like about 25 pages, single spaced. And this is the list of our practice of referral doctors who have sent each of these names, single space, is a doctor's practice, independent. And the number of doctors who have referred us TMJ patients from Middle Tennessee, which is documented on this prop, this document itself, is 861. 861 independent physicians, oral surgeons, pedodontists, walk-in clinic physician assistants, and nurse practitioners who have sent TMD patients because of the marketing program that we developed, which is very inexpensive. It really isn't advertising. It is simply letting the other doctors who unsuccessfully treated the problem know that their patient was successfully treated, and then they start sending you patients. It's just too easy, and it's just that simple. And because of that mechanism, you can develop easily a couple patients a week that you spend total time treating. I mean, total time from including consultation to device delivery to follow-up, usually 2 to 4 times follow-up, at which point you feel comfortable giving the patient a PRN, return as needed. You'll spend no more than an hour of your time doing that. And it's a tremendous addition to your practice, not even discussing how good it feels to actually help these people who have had 20, 30, sometimes 40 years of symptoms: headache, earache, jaw pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, you know, the litany, and make a success of your practice and get out from underneath the control of insurance companies. It's you have many, many, many benefits. So besides the fact of the financial rewards for doing a fee-for-service TMD treatment, there are other rewards that are included with that. So the second thing is the grateful patients. I can't tell you, as an oral maxillofacial surgeon, the number of people that now have been pain-free after 20 years, or symptom-free, without fullness in the ears, without vertigo, without tinnitus. They look at me and they go, "Can you be my dentist now?" And I go, "No, I can't be your dentist. I'm an oral maxillofacial surgeon, and I haven't held a dental drill in 40 years. And I kind of, laugh about that, but, they're happy. They would be happy. I just saved their bacon. And, I get hugs and thank yous and handshakes from husbands who have dealt with their wife, who have had these problems for 20 years. And they more than happy to send you additional referrals or to be patients themselves and ask you if they can, now you can be their dentist. No, it's a win-win situation. So on top of the extra economic benefit, you get additional referrals from patients who you would never be exposed to, except unless you treated their TMD. And there are no lack of TMD patients, for sure. 45% of females have temporomandibular joint symptoms. I mean, I have a little game I play with myself. I mentioned it before, I think on another episode, but if I'm standing in front of a couple females, and I did this morning, I went to a meeting of the mayor of Williamson County this morning. It wasn't a political meeting. Basically, it's what's going on within the city, what's new within the city and county. And I like to keep myself abreast of that. And I was standing in front of a couple females, and so I tested it out again. So I just looked and I said, "Which one of you have TMD?" And sure enough, one of them said, "Oh yeah, I have TMJ. I've had it for 20 years." And then she spelled all our symptoms out. It is a very common problem. 45% of females have temporomandibular joint symptoms of one kind or another. Not all of them ruin their lives, but many, many of those patients, it does ruin their lives. Of course, there's roughly 10% of males have the problem, and they have their own different presentation, but their ruins the life of many males. There's no lack of patients who need service. In fact, if you have, let's just say, 1,000 people in your practice of record, half of them are females, and half of those have TMD needs. They have symptoms. All you got to do is bring it to their attention. So our treatment, non-surgical TMD, is a cash-only service, but because of the ancillary benefits of additional income, cash income, and referral sources, both via patients and other doctors who are now aware that you treat this problem successfully, it gets your name out into the medical community just in a general way. And the next time a physician or a nurse practitioner is faced with something, either direct question from a patient, "Do you know of a dentist that I could see?" Or the physician type says, "Oh, well, this is a dental problem. This is not something that I can handle." The next question from the patient, I can promise you, will be, oh, well, do you know a dentist I could see? Well, your name will be top and center if you have shown that medical type, walk-in clinic, nurse practitioner, PCP, ENT, doctor, that you have solved the TMD solution. Your name is right out there, and you communicate with them frequently. They'll get more than one letter for sure as you do this little program. So it's a huge practice builder. I mean, and we see that it is a huge practice builder, and the doctors who follow the marketing technique that we use and use the device itself as prescribed, making sure the patient follows through with you doing the proper protocol, extremely successful. So now you have enough income to feel comfortable just writing your PPOs, HMOs, insurance carriers and say, I'm not going to renew. And we're going fee for service, and then go through the steps, and they're published. How do you then develop and treat your current patients and tell them that you're going to be fee for service, and get out from underneath the hammer, the control of insurance companies. So I hope I've made that really clear that there's secondary benefits to treating TMD fee for service. And I hope that this helps. As I said many times before, I do this podcast, and I do these episodes weekly to help my colleagues and to help patients, actually to begin to just help patients. And then I realized how much help my colleagues need for their own practices and what a benefit this is to the practice itself. And then now wanted to just make it really clear how this could be a well thought out, well established, workable solution to getting out from underneath the control of, quote, dental insurance companies, which I will just repeat for effect. My blog done 2 days ago, Sunday night, which is directed toward the public, which states the public needs to know the dental insurance is a scam. I think my colleagues, those listening, would not disagree with that, and I know that. So I do it to help. This is the reason I do this. I do it to help. With that being said, I would love your comments. You can contact me at any time. I will get back to you. My email address is tony@tmjservices.net. tony@tmjservices.net. If you would like to join the network of providers who are licensed to use this device, which takes the load off the temporomandibular joint, which decreases the inflammation, which makes all the symptoms of TMD diminish and go away, you can contact me directly, or you can go to our website, which is www.urbanictmj.com. And on that website, including all kind of information about the device itself, how it works, innumerable success stories, are well done independent university study confirming the claims. And there is a drop down where you can take the course, online course, basically 2.5-hour course where you can become educated on using the device, the things you need to know about it, the protocol for your patients, and become a network provider and spread the good cheer for you and your practice and your patients. With that said, I look forward to the next time I will be able to speak with you, which will be on a Tuesday morning. And the topic has not been selected yet, but I'm sure I will hopefully make it interesting, something that will stimulate your thought, stimulate your interest in our profession, and hopefully stimulate your interest in solving this, what has been before a conundrum about TMD, which no longer is a conundrum. I understand it. I teach others how to understand it. And with just a little bit of effort, you can understand it and treat patients successfully. So for today, I'm Tony Urbanic, and this is TMD Demystified.